I know what you're thinking. Can he do 2 videos in one day? Here we are. We're trying to really fast track this, try and get to every team. I'm a little nervous, not going to lie to you. I also was very excited to talk about your Sacramento Kings. In general, this is just a team that I kind of like a lot of the guys on it. So they haven't been in the playoffs in so long. Just a team that's going to be easy to root for, and a team that I think has been pushed aside for so long, but are now, finally trying to right the ship after, years of just not being a properly run franchise. We're getting back on the right track here. Obviously, the Halliburton trade came as a surprise. Still, probably not the most popular decision to deal a guy in Halliburton that it had such a unique skill set in terms of being kind of that more distributor, facilitator type point guard that can still shoot the ball at an extremely high level as well as defend. You just don't get a lot of those these days, and so to trade him for, to be fair, a bona fide all-star in Domantas Sabonis, who is still, in his mid-20s, definitely reflected kind of a win-now mindset. And we see throughout the draft, throughout this offseason, the Kings have continued to make moves that will impact winning immediately as opposed to kind of being in a rebuild again. This is now a team and a front office and a franchise that is really looking to get off the schneid and make the goddamn playoffs finally. And I think, of all the teams this offseason that made a bunch of moves, it seems like, to me at least, the Kings made the most kind of, or we'll say the least amount of head-scratcher kind of moves in terms of acquiring, really good players that fill voids that they had from last season that make sense within, the greater context of this roster and what they want to be. You look at, of course, Keegan Murray, not the flashiest pick. Obviously, Jaden Ivey sitting there as well at 4. A lot of people thought he was, the 4th best and the most, best available at that point. I'm assuming the Kings probably explored looking kind of maybe moving back in the draft, but at the end they decided, no, this is our guy. We actually like him better than Jaden Ivey. He fills a void at the wing and kind of power forward position that we need. Someone that makes sense alongside Domantas Sabonis. Someone that can defend at a high level, that has length, that can shoot the basketball. Keegan Murray made a lot of sense. It just didn't necessarily fall in terms of maybe a talent or a ceiling level that he might be the 4th. But, in the preseason, in Summer League, already looks like a guy who is totally NBA ready and going to impact games from the jump. Then you look at the other acquisitions in terms of Kevin Huerter in a trade and then signing Malik Monk. Gives you a ton of wing depth, gives you shooting. You already pair them with De'Aaron Fox and Davion Mitchell. With those lineups and what you can do with those backcourts, you got to be really excited about what the Kings could be, especially offensively. I definitely worry about what they're going to be like on the other side of the ball, just because there aren't a lot of guys who hang their hat on their defense outside Davion Mitchell at the point of attack. Sabonis is not by any means an elite rim protector, nor is Rashawn Holmes his backup. Their interior defense is not going to look great perimeter-wise. Whether Harrison Barnes or Keegan Murray can keep up with, smaller forwards on the perimeter also remains to be seen. This could be a team that gets in these, games that go into the 130s because they're going to want to play fast with De'Aaron Fox, trying to score in transition. They're going to shoot a lot of threes with Monk, Huerter, Murray, Barnes. It's gonna equate a lot of points, and I think it's gonna, with Sabonis, coming off screens, rolling, popping, setting off-ball screens for some of these shooters. There's gonna be a lot of movement on offense. They're gonna be really tough to defend with all the different skill sets, different speeds they can go at. Whether they can kind of parlay that into winning games and having success. We haven't seen, obviously, in Sacramento in a long time, whether Mike Brown, you bring him in as head coach, whether he can kind of bring that success that he had in Cleveland, assistant Golden State, bring that kind of winning mentality and attitude to this group of guys. He looks excited. There's a video of him like screaming in an interview. He seems excited to be with this group. So I'm excited to see them. Really looking forward to the Sacramento Kings team. I think you have to put them in the play-in discussion again with how competitive the West is going to be. Even though a team that's this talented, especially 1 through like 7 or 8, you got to put them in the discussion. I think they did make the right moves in improving in the right categories. It's just a matter of, can they put it all together? Can they defend at a high enough level to get to, a 7 or an 8 or a 9 or a 10? Obviously, with the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes already, ahead, we'll see if how many teams in the West are going to purposely fall down the rankings. You would imagine Thunder, Spurs, Jazz, at least. That leaves kind of who's at 12, 11, 10. Rockets probably in that mix, and then depending on injuries and things, you never know. Again, if the Lakers have another issue with LeBron or AD, they're probably realistically going to fall to that position. But going through the West, it's going to be really tough. 11 through 1, it's just going to be wild. So Sacramento should be in that discussion. They are where they want to be. They have a really solid roster on paper. Just a matter of putting it on the floor and getting it done. So let me know what you think about these Sacramento Kings. I think it's so nice to finally have some optimism out there in Sacramento. Let me know where you see them falling, what you think about this roster. I'm curious to hear what you think. But that's going to do it for me. Take it easy. Take care of yourselves. And I'll see you next time.